friends, I want to start a new reading vlog, and it would be sort of in the realm of my backlist reading vlogs. As two of the books are backlist books, and one is a new release that I got from Book of the Month that I'm really excited about and I would like to go ahead and read. So the first one is one of my 12 in 24 books that I wanted to read. This is Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffenegger. I've already started this and I'm really enjoying the writing. I do also have this on audio and I listened to a little bit of it and I'm really enjoying the narrator too. So this is about twins, and then one of the twins had twins, and this is basically the aunt dies and leaves the twins her apartment, and there's some backstories there, some mystery, family dynamics, all the good things. So I'm enjoying that. Another backlist, this is a backlist Book of the Month book. I'd like to read Lily King. I haven't read anything by her yet. This is Writers and Lovers. I have started this multiple times on audio and just for some reason got distracted by it. And this is about a woman in her 30s who is blindsided by her mom's sudden death and then the end of an affair or a romantic relationship. And then all her friends are getting married and she's getting letters from the debt collector. So I'm excited to finally read this fully, not just dip into it, but fully read it. And then the new one that I got from Book of the Month that I'm really excited to read is Real Americans by Rachel Khong. I read Rachel's book, Goodbye Vitamin, and really liked it. That came out a number of years ago and was about caregiving. This is different. This is about basically a family saga during Y2K. I guess dual timelines, Y2K and then 2021. So I'm excited to get into this as well. I can't get this on audio, but I can get the other two on audio. So as we've learned from my previous reading vlogs, it's helpful if I can have a couple on audio if I don't want the reading vlog to last for a long time. So I'm hoping to have this done. Could it be a weekly reading vlog? I don't know. We'll try. Currently, just getting in the car. It's Friday morning and I have to go mail a Pango order and stop by the library to drop off some books. I also, of course, have a few on hold. Does anybody else do this? You watch BookTube with your library app open on your phone and you start requesting what people recommend? Yeah, I do that. I am not that far through Her Fearful Symmetry. Not far. Audrey Niffenegger. We just introduced a paranormal aspect of it, which I'm not sure how I'm gonna vibe with. I'm okay with paranormal, but the way that this is presented, it's kind of borderline ridiculous. So I don't know. Some of the other storylines I am enjoying. I think it's definitely telling a very real picture of grief for Elspeth's partner. But yeah, not sure about the paranormal aspect. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the library. I'm about 3/4 of the way through Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Neffenegger. So we're following twins, Julia and Valentina, who are left the apartment in London of their aunt, Elsbeth, who they never met. Elsbeth is their mom's twin sister, and something happened between Elsbeth, the aunt, and Edie, the mom, many years ago that caused caused Edie to move to the US, I think. We've also got Martin and Marika, who have been married for 20 plus years and are going through some marital strife. And then there's Robert, who is Elsbeth's partner when she died. And they're kind of all converging in this area of London where Robert has an apartment, Elsbeth has an apartment, and Martin and Marika have an apartment. Robert and Elsbeth didn't live in the same apartment flat. Anyway, so Julia and Valentina are living in Elsbeth's flat, and they are getting to know these other people that knew their aunt that they didn't know. And it's just all who's doing what and who's talking to who and who's not talking to who. And there's some ghosts and some weirdness, and I don't know how I'm feeling about it, honestly. The twins are 21 and kind of in that period of trying to find themselves, and they've been doing the same thing their entire lives. They've always been together and trying to branch out on their own. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm enjoying it or not. Like, I don't want to DNF it. I want to finish it. And I also don't know that I care what happens. Is that weird? I don't know. But we're going to keep going with this one. So I just finished Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Neffenegger. Can we first get a round of applause that this is the first of my 12 and 24 that I actually read. I did not DNF it. So this is my 4th try. The first 3 I have DNF'd, and this one I finished. This was one of the strangest books I've ever read. I don't even know what to say about it. It's got some I don't know if I would call it Freaky Friday vibes to it. If you remember that movie. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know did I like it? I mean, I really feel like the highest this would get is a 3-star, but I just don't even know if it's a 3-star. I don't know. I don't know. I tabbed a little bit in the beginning because it really, I felt touched on grief and had some good insights into grief when the aunt dies and with her partner. But then it just went off the rails. Definitely a book that went off the rails in the most ridiculous ways. Yeah. So I don't even know what to read next. Like, I know I have the 2 other books that I talked about wanting to read. I don't want to read them right now. I want something different, totally different, like a mystery or thriller. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to read next. Oh, this was so weird. So weird. You cannot put me in a slump. I took a brief break from this vlog, and I can't remember the last day that I recorded a clip. I'll figure that out when I upload everything. Oh goodness. Today is Wednesday. It is May 29th. We have 2 more days of May, and I have a book club book that I need to get read before Friday, and then I have kind of changed up the books that I'm reading in this vlog, which I think I said in the previous clip, when I finished Her Fearful Symmetry, it was just such a strange book. I'm still at that point of, it was just a strange book. It did not put me in a reading slump, which is good. I finished a couple other books that are not related to this vlog, but will be in my end of second half of May wrap up, which is probably already posted by now. Anyway, point being, this vlog, I am going to read Divided Minds, Twin Sisters and Their Journey Through Schizophrenia by Pamela Spiro Wagner and Carolyn S. Spiro, MD. This has been on my shelf for years. It came out, I think it came out in 2005. I've started reading it on several occasions and for whatever reason got distracted by other things, which, you know, is something that happens to me a lot. But this is about 2 sisters who, one of them develops schizophrenia and the other kind of takes a caregiver role in that support system. I had a student who read this book when I had it in my office, and she borrowed it and loved it from a mental health perspective, a learning perspective, and I've just never gotten it to it. So May is Mental Health May, and it's also finishing up the Spoonie Readathon, which mental health, I would argue, definitely falls into the Spoonie category. If you've ever dealt with any kind of mental health issues, you know that energy can be greatly impacted by how you're feeling mentally. So I am going to work on this. I do have the audiobook of this. I'm not sure which other fiction book I'm going to read. The other two books I still have, Real Americans by Rachel Kong. I think I may put this off until June. Just because I also am kind of in an audiobook kick, and I don't have access to the audiobook of this one. I may focus more on Writers and Lovers by Lily King. I do have the access to the audio. I think I have this one on Libby for my library. So, yeah, I'm just feeling like using audiobooks right now. My book club book, I don't have access to the library or the audiobook. I think it's an Audible audiobook, and I do not subscribe to Audible. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, we are just taking a break from work. Like I said, it's Wednesday. I typically have an afternoon of meetings, and yeah, I try and take a little bit of a break around lunchtime and either do a little reading or catching up on YouTube, things like that. So I hope to get some reading done, and I will check in with you soon. Good morning. It is Saturday, June 1st, and I am just kind of chilling out, having some coffee and reading my books. I wanted to give you an update. I am about a fourth into Real Americans by Rachel Kong. This is so far, which it has a dual timeline, but right now we're in the story of Lily and Matthew. Lily is the only child of Chinese immigrants. Her parents are scientists and wanted her to be the same, and she is not. She is an art history major, and she's just graduating from college, and she's met Matthew, who is a rich American who is older than her, not a lot, maybe like I think 4 or 5 years, they're saying, and he does something in finance, and they've kind of had a little fling, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm really enjoying the writing and the story, and tried to read more last night, but was falling asleep. So I hope to get more of this read today. And then the other backlist book that I've been working on is Divided Minds. This is a story of twins. One develops schizophrenia. And I'm listening to the audiobook, which I like because they have two different narrators, which I'll put their names below because I can't remember off the top of my head. Then it's told from two perspectives, the two sisters, and each time they switch perspectives, they'll say Pammy or Carolyn. And that's really helpful with the audio especially. And right now we're kind of at their middle school age, I guess, and maybe into high school. And just seeing the different personalities. Carolyn is kind of the more reserved, introverted twin, and Pammy is more the outgoing twin. And Pam is the one who develops schizophrenia, and she is recalling some instances where it might have been early signs of hearing voices. So it's a very interesting read. I do appreciate the two different perspectives, and the book is written from, both sisters wrote the book. So you feel like, as a reader, with nonfiction written by the two people that are featured, that you're really getting a personalized experience from each perspective. And so I'm really enjoying that so far. So I am going to keep reading and drinking my coffee. Hi, weird angle, I know. I did go to get to a thrift store today, a Value Village in my area. And I just gotta say, I went to this specific Value Village, which is, it's about a 15-minute drive away. If you're from Atlanta or know about Atlanta, it is OTP, outside the perimeter, just barely. But I went to it because they have a really bad book section. They just don't have a lot, and what they do have is always a mess. And the reason I went to that place is because I'm still on a book buying ban. It's only been 2 weeks, but I've had plenty of opportunities to get books, and I have not. I've been strong, so that's good, right? But I did go because I need some basics, like t-shirts, tank tops, things like that, because I don't buy basics very often, and when I do, it's usually thrift store, because I get most of my clothing is secondhand. Just my preference to cut down a little on all the clothing in the world. But I did fairly well. I didn't buy a lot, and I didn't even go to the book section, so I'm very proud of myself for that. But just gonna show you a few things I got. So this is just a little like crop top, black with like little flowers on it. I do not know labels very well. I did get just a basic Gap, you see that, V-neck, navy blue, lightweight t-shirt, which, as you can see in a number of my videos, I like just basic tees. When you work from home, you need to look a little bit professional on the top, right? But I don't have to be super professional for my job. And now the cat is sitting on my, and then I just needed some basic tanks, because mine just have worn out. So I got a basic little gray tank. And then I'm gonna show you a couple of summer dresses I got that I finished Divided Minds, Twin Sisters and Their Journey Through Schizophrenia by Pamela Spiro Wagner and Carolyn S. Spiro. This was a look at the twin sisters. One of them develops schizophrenia, has some early signs of it, but truly like kind of deals with auditory hallucinations, more in her late teens, early 20s, college years, very smart, and headed to medical school when the hallucinations kind of take over her life, which in my experience in working with people with schizophrenia is very common. I liked this a lot. I listened to the audiobook and the narrators were amazing. I would recommend this for anyone who wants to know more about mental health issues, how families and siblings deal with mental health issues, the kind of the severity of Pam's illness really impacted her relationship with her parents and also with her sister. There were times when she didn't talk to her sister for a couple of years, and her sister didn't know where she was, or until she was contacted by the police or a hospital or something like that. I gave this 4 stars, and my main, I guess, critique of it is I did enjoy getting to know the twins in the beginning, in their early years, and I do think it's important to kind of see the early signs and potential symptoms of a mental health issue. We spent a lot of time in their childhood and not a lot of time in their adulthood and dealing with the changes in medication. There were new drugs that came out, different ways of treating schizophrenia that Pam dealt with. A lot on her own, it seemed like. And I just felt like it spent a lot of time in the early years and jumped through huge chunks of time in the adult years. So, but again, it's 4 stars. I highly recommend this if you want to know more about the impact of schizophrenia on the individual and also the family. And I recommend the audiobook. Wanted to give you an update on Real Americans by Rachel Khong. This, I am now at, I don't know if you can see, probably about halfway, a little bit over halfway through. Could not get the audiobook for this. It's just too new of a release. The whole line is very long at my library for this one on audio. And I think that's impacting how fast I'm reading this, because I have had a lot of online meetings this week and my eyes have just been bothering me, so I haven't really been reading too much with my eyes physically. Been listening to audiobooks. So we're at the first half of the book talks about looks at the relationship between Lily and Matthew, and they were now looking at their son Nick, and there's been some falling out between the couple, and it's sort of alluded to at the end of the first part. And if it is what I think it is, I'm gonna be disappointed, because I'm just hoping it's not. And so we're looking at Nick is a teenager, and he has a best friend, Timothy, I think his name is, and they are getting ready to go to college, and so they're going on college tours and things like that. And Nick's kind of deciding where he wants to go to college. His mom wants him to stay close to home, and he doesn't want to, which is kind of seems to be like what happens a lot with teenagers wanting to go away to college. I'm enjoying it still. Like I said, there's certain storylines that I'm wondering where they're going to go, and I might be really bothered if it goes where I think it is, but I can't say anything because it's kind of spoilery. But I am enjoying it, and I hope to get it done this week. Would be amazing. So yeah, that's Real Americans. So I finished Real Americans by Rachel Khong. It is told in, there's 3 parts to it. The first part focuses on Lily, who is the mother. The second part focuses on Nick, who is the son. And then the third part focuses on May, who is the grandmother, Lily's mom. I really like the characters. There's a lot of depth, and I felt like they were relatable and had empathy for them. I think I mentioned in a previous clip, there was a potential of going somewhere, a storyline going somewhere that I didn't want it to go. It did not go there. So yay for that. However, it did go in a way that I didn't even see coming, didn't really want to see coming, didn't want it to come, shouldn't have come. I mean, it's just one of those situations where you're on board, you're enjoying the characters for part 1, part 2, you're enjoying it all. Part 3, and you're just like, what the heck? Unfortunately, that was kind of my reaction to it. So it definitely gets scientific in the last half, or in the last part, and talks about gene therapy and DNA. I feel like, I don't think that's a spoiler. It's just kind of where it goes, which isn't a spoiler. It's not a spoiler because the grandparents, May and Charles, are scientists, and we know that from the beginning because Lily is not a scientist, and she struggles a lot in her part of the book with her identity as a Chinese, or a daughter of Chinese immigrants. You know, would they want her to do the same thing, be a doctor, be some kind of high level, high earning potential profession, something that they were doing themselves. And she ended up majoring in art. Nick is in his teens, 20s. He is kind of grappling with his childhood and the differences in his mom's, Lily's family, and his dad's family. His dad's American, his mom is Lily, who is American, Asian American, and kind of where they come from, each family the backgrounds, the differences that they experience in the world from a white perspective and an Asian perspective. And then it went off the rails. So I'm rating it about a 3-star. I don't want anyone to not read this book because of what I say. I'm known for having opinions that are outliers. They're not the typical like majority opinion. Just look at my thoughts on Alex Michaelides. I'm not a huge fan of his, and lots of people love him. So let's just take it in context, okay? The other books I read for this vlog were Divided Minds by Pamela Spiro Wagner and Carolyn Spiro. This was about twin sisters, one of which develops schizophrenia. It's a memoir. It's told from the perspective of each. I think it's a great read if you want to know more about what it's like to live with schizophrenia, but also what it's like to care for someone and love someone who has schizophrenia or any kind of severe mental health issue. And then the first one that I read, Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffenegger. This, I feel like I read it a really long time ago because it's taken me a while to get through these other books. This was about twins as well. I didn't see that connection until just now. That inherit an apartment from their aunt who they've never met. This was another book that I really liked at the beginning, and then it went off the rails. So 3-star. Thank you for being here, for watching my vlog, and let me know if you've read any of these books or you have any opinions about them, any interest in them. Like I said, these are just my opinions of these books, and I hope they don't dissuade you from picking them up yourselves, or at least checking them out from the library. If you want to just let me know you're here, just drop a little note in the comments. And if you would like to support my channel, you can subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell for when I post again. And I've enjoyed the vlogs. They've taken longer than I wanted to, but it's because I'm reading other things at the same time. But I am getting through my backlist, which is huge. Although I did read one new release this time. And it didn't work out that great for me, did it? It wasn't as good as I anticipated. Yeah, so I hope you're having a great reading month, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.